Good morning to all of you, and I welcome all of you to this very important session on curriculum implementation. And my friends, we can say that this is the fourth session as far as this particular program is concerned. And in this session, I will be discussing with you the meaning and concept of curriculum implementation. What is the importance of curriculum implementation? And after that, I will be discussing with you how we actually implement the curriculum in an effective way, what are different factors or parameters that affect curriculum implementation, and what should be a systematic methodology for implementing the curriculum. Now, as I understand that in the previous sessions, we have talked about in the previous session, we have talked about various stages of curriculum development, and my colleague Professor P.K. Singla talked about four stages of curriculum development. The first stage is need analysis stage, in which we talk about what are various employment avenues for the students passing out from a particular technical program. What is the need of floating a particular program? So we collect a lot of information from the industry and from the stakeholders regarding this, and based on that information, we move ahead. So this first stage is very, very important while developing the curriculum. Then we go to the next stage, which is called the curriculum design stage, in which we actually identify what are the subject areas to be taught, what are the detailed contents of these subject areas in terms of knowledge or skills, or we say as theory or practical part, and what is the evaluation criteria for these theory contents as well as practical contents. So all these things are decided in the second stage, which is called the curriculum design stage. Then we come to once we design the curriculum, so that means curriculum document is ready after this stage. Then we come to the very important stage, which is curriculum implementation, wherein you actually implement the curriculum that has been designed. And we'll be talking about this stage in detail in this particular session. And even after curriculum implementation, there's another stage which is called as curriculum evaluation stage. If there are any difficulties in implementing the curriculum, if there are certain problems, if there are certain bottlenecks, so we try to identify those problems in the final stage, that is the curriculum evaluation stage, and we take necessary action either at curriculum design stage or need analysis stage. So curriculum development is a continuous process. That means we continuously keep on getting feedback from the stakeholders on need analysis, on design part, on implementation part, and continuously based on this feedback, we are continuously changing our curriculum. So my friend, these are the four stages: need analysis, curriculum design, curriculum implementation, and curriculum evaluation. And in this session, I'll be focusing on the third stage, that is the curriculum implementation stage. Now, what is curriculum implementation? What we actually mean by this term, curriculum implementation? Implementation actually means when you put all your resources into action. When your teachers or faculty members, they are engaging the classes, the students are going to the laboratories, they are conducting or performing practicals, they are going to the workshop, they are preparing some jobs, they are going to the industry, they are going to the classrooms, they are performing some practical, they are solving some problem. So all these activities, when the students are doing all these sort of activities, we say that curriculum is being implemented. So we say curriculum implementation means putting into practice the courses of study, putting into practice the syllabus, and putting into practice the subjects. So putting all your resources into action, this is your curriculum implementation. Now there are two very important aspects when we talk about curriculum implementation. First thing is that learning must take place during curriculum implementation. This is very important aspect, that learning is taking place. It is not only that the teacher is teaching, but the students are learning. The students are involved in the process. So actual learning is taking place. Curriculum implementation takes place when students are actually acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitude. This is one part. And the second part is that during implementation, there is a proper learner-friendly environment. This is very important. Then when we are actually implementing the curriculum, when you are teaching the students in a classroom, there is a proper learner-friendly environment. What is the meaning of learner-friendly environment? It means that there's an environment where the students or learners are free to ask questions. There might be certain doubts. They might be needing some clarity on specific points that you are discussing. But then there is a good environment in which students can talk about their doubts. They can talk. They can discuss anything to be clarified. So there's a good learning environment. These two aspects are very, very important in curriculum implementation. One is that the students actually acquire the knowledge and skills, and the second aspect is that there is learner-friendly environment. These are two very important aspects. Okay, now we come to another very important aspect of curriculum implementation, and that is what are different steps that we should take in curriculum implementation. Suppose there is a situation that next year you are going to revise your curriculum for a particular discipline, and you are going to implement the curriculum for the revised curriculum you are going to implement. Now, what will be different steps? What are different subjects that you have to take at institute level or at departmental level so that the curriculum is implemented effectively, so that your course delivery is proper? What steps you will take? So let's discuss these steps one by one. And my friends, these are very important things that you should keep in mind while implementing the curriculum. If you keep in mind all these steps, then you are in a better position to implement the curriculum effectively. Now, the first step while implementing the curriculum properly is to analyze the contents of the new curriculum as compared to the existing curriculum, to determine what type of changes have taken place in the new curriculum. So maybe you form a committee of 3 to 4 persons, and that committee will analyze what are the changes in the new curriculum. Now, generally, the type of changes that are made in the curriculum is either a particular subject has been deleted, or a new subject has been incorporated in the curriculum, or there is a change in the time for a particular subject, or there is a change in assessment, or sometime a particular subject that was being taught in a particular semester that has been shifted to some other semester. So these are main changes that are taking place when we are revising the curriculum. So maybe you form a committee, and that committee will analyze what type of changes have taken place in the new curriculum. This is the first step, very important step. Please try to find out what sort of changes have taken place in the new curriculum. So once this analysis is over, then you go to the next step, that is orientation of faculty about the salient features of curriculum. My friend, this is very, very important step. And most of the time when we are implementing the revised curriculum, we generally skip this subject. But I think this is very important step, that once you know what type of changes have taken place in the curriculum, please orient all the faculty members regarding the main or salient features of the new curriculum. Generally, what we are doing is that if there are certain changes in a particular subject, we inform about those changes to the concerned teacher. That is all right. But what I am stressing here is that if there are changes in the curriculum, please maybe organize an orientation workshop, and all the faculty members need to be oriented, need to be informed about the salient features of the revised curriculum. Maybe there is a change in the curriculum objectives, or if some new features have been added into the curriculum, or there is a change in the assessment scheme. So whatever new features have been incorporated in the new curriculum, please orient all the faculty members. This is very important. Then, my friends, we move to the next aspect. Once we orient the faculty about the features of curriculum, the next step is organization of resources. This is very important, because if a new subject has been added in the curriculum, or some practical or laboratory work has been added in the curriculum, then you need to procure the resources for performing the practicals for a particular subject area. So you need to organize the resources. This is very important. And this most of the time we are maybe we delay this subject. We are always thinking that okay, we will procure the resources, and some precious time is lost. So we have to take the necessary step at the right time, so that we are able to procure the necessary resources, whether it is some equipment or machinery or certain tools that are required for performing the practicals. They we have to adopt a very systematic process, so that all the resources are procured at the right time. So organization of resources or procurement of resources is very important in effectively implementing the curriculum. Beside organization of resources, the next step is training of faculty in emerging areas. Again, this is very crucial, very important step, that once we are revising the curriculum, of course, that means that some new subjects have been added. And if some new subjects have been added, the faculty needs to be trained in those emerging areas, in those emerging subjects, so that the faculty members, they are in a better position to teach those subjects. So training of faculty in the new subject area, this is very important. Maybe you identify the teachers who will be dealing with those subjects, and then you send them for training, so that they become expert in those particular areas. So this step is very important. And then preparation of instructional resources in form of some textbooks or laboratory manuals. So many times we have seen we design the curriculum, we add certain subjects, but then later we find out that good textbooks are not available, or laboratory manuals are not available. And if this is the situation, then institute has to take action. Institute has to take some initiative to prepare good instructional material for the students. So maybe identify certain subject area where instructional material is not available, and form groups of teachers, groups of faculty members, also involve some experts from the industry, and prepare good instructional material. This step again is very important. And then continuously monitoring the teaching learning process. If a particular curriculum has been revised, then it is the responsibility of the management to monitor If there is any difficulty, any problem being faced by the faculty members in implementing the curriculum, if there are certain bottlenecks, certain gaps, so please monitor that teaching learning process so that if there are any difficulties, all those are eliminated. So, my friends, these are various steps while implementing the curriculum. If you keep all these steps into mind, then you are in a better position to implement the curriculum. Now, let us discuss what are the different parameters or different factors that affect curriculum implementation. What are the things that come to your mind that you think that are not generally there in the institution, and if those things are there in the institution or in the department or in the classroom, then you are in a better position to implement the curriculum. Most of the time teachers have a thinking that so many things are not available in the institution, that is why they are not able to teach effectively, they are not able to implement the curriculum effectively. So let us identify those things, and then we will see how we can take some corrective action as far as these parameters are concerned. Now, the first factor that comes to our mind as far as curriculum implementation is concerned is that is the lack of resources. We are not having sufficient resources in our department, in our labs, in our workshops. So resources are not available. This is one major factor that is affecting the curriculum implementation. Maybe the equipment is not there, the tools are not there, and sometimes the equipment is there but it is not working. Sometimes the equipment is there but it is obsolete. So again, it is one and the same thing. So we have to procure the resources. So this again, but this is very important factor that due to non-availability of resources, we are not able to implement the curriculum effectively. Then the next factor is, I say, motivated teachers. Now, one parameter I can call as teachers. Teachers itself is a very important parameter. Sometimes teachers are not available. The sanction strength is different, and the actual teachers who are there in the institute, actual number of teachers who are there in the department, that is different. But that is another different thing. What I am talking here is the teachers whosoever whatever number of teachers are there in your department, they should be motivated. Even if the number of teachers, maybe one or two teachers are less as compared to the sanction strength, but if they are motivated, if they are committed, and if they have this thing in their mind that they will implement the curriculum in an effective manner, they will try to achieve the education objectives, they will try to accomplish the educational goals. So if that commitment or motivation is there amongst the teachers, then you are in a better position to implement the curriculum. So motivated teacher, I think, is very important factor as far as curriculum implementation is concerned. Then, my friends, students is also a very important factor as far as curriculum implementation is concerned. Especially the level of students whom you are teaching, what is the entry level of the students? If the students are not able to comprehend what you are teaching, that means you will have to spend more time in bringing the students to the desired level. We are expecting that a normal student with the 10 plus 2 qualification that is coming to our technical institutions. But if that desired level is not there in the students, then we will be having a lot of difficulty in providing the technical inputs to the students. So level of student is very, very important. If the students are at the desired level, then we are in a better position to implement the curriculum effectively. Students play a very important role in effective curriculum implementation. Then the next factor is the role of leaders. Leadership plays an important role in curriculum implementation. Especially, the leader should continuously monitor whether there is any problem or any difficulty faced by any faculty member or staff member in implementing the curriculum. If there is any problem in the classroom, in the laboratory, or in the workshop, and then some corrective action should be taken. Now, when I say this term leader or leadership, it is not only at the institute level. I'm not talking only about the director or the principal or the management. It is the leadership at various levels. It is the leadership at department level, at the class level. Teacher is the leader. At the department level, head of department is the leader. And at the institute level, the director or principal is the leader. So leadership at various levels, they have to ensure that the curriculum is being implemented effectively. If there are any problems, then continuous monitoring should be carried out. And if there are any difficulties being faced by faculty members or teachers or students, that should be sorted out. Leadership plays a very important role. Then, my friends, another very important factor is linkage with the industry. Linkage with the industry. Now, when you see the scenario, we are training the students, but ultimately, when we see where our students will be going after undergoing this training, after staying in our institution for 4 years, ultimately, where they are going, we are training the students for whom? Most of our students will be going to the industry. So it is important that while implementing the curriculum, we must involve the industry. And industry can be involved. We can invite the experts from the industry to deliver lectures. We can involve the industry by making certain industrial visits to see what type of technology advancements are taking place in the industry, what types of processes they are adopting. We can involve the industry in project work. The students can take up certain live problems in the industry. So all these things, we must encourage all these activities, and linkage with the industry is very, very important. I mean, I cannot visualize a situation when only teachers are engaged in taking the classes, where only faculty or staff members from the institute, they are engaged in delivering instruction with no inputs from the industry. We must, because you see, we are training the students to meet the expectations of the industry, to match the requirement of the industry. That is our ultimate objective. So industry, we must be in touch with the industry. We must involve the industry in our teaching learning process. Then, my friends, the environment and culture of the institute. That is very important. What is the environment in which you are teaching? Is it a healthy environment? Maybe if there is greenery all around, if there is clean environment, then you would love and like to teach. You would like to give your best. You will perform in an efficient manner. So good environment of the institute is very important. Please see if you can bring some changes in the environment as far as your classrooms and other teaching learning places are concerned. If if there's a good environment, you would very much like to be in the institute. You would very much wish to be in your classrooms and laboratories, and you will, and that means the curriculum will be implemented in a much better manner. So, my friends, these are various factors that are affecting curriculum implementation, especially the resources, the teachers, students, leadership at the institute level, linkage with the industry, and environment of classroom and other places. These all these factors, all these parameters play a very important role. And if you are able to take care of all these parameters, then your instruction delivery will be very, very effective. Then come to the last aspect of curriculum implementation, that is the systematic methodology for implementing the curriculum. You already know what are different parameters that affect curriculum implementation. You already know what are the steps that you should take to implement the curriculum. And now let us see what is the methodology for implementing the curriculum. Again, there are a couple of steps that you have to keep in mind, and then you will be able to implement the curriculum. Now, if you have to implement the curriculum in your department, the first step that you will take is identification of the key areas. Key area means actually whatever different factors we have discussed, whether it is faculty, or it is instructional resources, or it is different type of equipment. So when you already know, maybe you have a good idea that maybe you do not have the desired equipment, or maybe your faculty is not trained. So you already have that idea. So identify out of maybe 8 or 10 areas, identify one area that, okay, you are going to focus on this particular area. Maybe you are not having good equipment in your laboratories or workshops. So this is one key area. Another area may be that you are having the equipment, you are having all the resources, but your staff members, they are not trained to perform the practicals. They are not trained to perform or work on the machines. So that may be another key area. So identify the key area. That is the first step. The second step is identify the related task. Now, key area may be very broad area. Suppose you identify that resources are not there in your laboratory, in your workshop. That may be a very broad area. You please try to identify there are certain equipment which are not working. There are certain machines which are obsolete. There are maybe sometime even laboratory is not available. So that means you have to actually set up the laboratory. So identify what are the smaller tasks of a particular area. So I maybe in the next slide I will show you in a better detail. But key areas have so many parameters, and if I break up that key area, then there will be smaller tasks. So identify the related task uh, as you can dissect this key area, you will be able to identify those related tasks. So identification of key area is the first step. Identification of related tasks is the second step. And then you make the people responsible for those key areas and key tasks. Give your staff member or faculty the responsibility to take care of those key areas or the key tasks. So there are actually three things that you have to keep in mind while implementing the curriculum. Identify the key areas, then identify the key tasks, and then identify the people who will be responsible for these key areas and key tasks. I will show you in the next slide. We will put all these things in a tabular form, and then you will be better able to appreciate these key areas and key tasks. So once you put all these three things, the key areas, the key tasks, and people responsible for these key areas, key tasks, then you will be actually making an operation plan, which actually means putting all these things into a table. And once you put them in a table, and if you are able to implement this plan, you are actually implementing the curriculum in a better manner. So only thing is, if you actually want to implement the curriculum in a proper way, you prepare this plan, put all these things in a tabular form, the key areas, the key tasks, and the people responsible for these key areas and key tasks. If you are able to put all these things in a tabular form, and if you are able to implement this plan, you'll be automatically implementing the curriculum properly. So let us see how we are putting all these things in a tabular form, how we are preparing this plan. This is the way we are visualizing that you will be putting the three things in a tabular form: the key areas, the related task of that key area, and the persons who will be responsible, will be taking care of these key areas and related tasks. Maybe let us think of a key area and let us try to fill these columns. What is the main area of concern as far as curriculum implementation is concerned? Maybe you think of your department, think of your institute. What is the key area? What is the key problem? Let us identify one problem. Maybe resources. Resources may be one of the major problem. You are not having desired resources, and due to which you are not able to implement the curriculum effectively. So your key area is procurement of resources. That is the problem. Now, now this is a big area, key area. This is a big area, and you have to break this into smaller tasks, smaller related tasks. How to procure those resources? Maybe you want to set up a new lab. A subject has been added in your revised curriculum, and there are certain practicals, but to perform those practicals, you don't have the laboratory. So you need to set up a new lab. This may be a smaller task. You need to set up a workshop. That may be another task. Or sometimes the laboratory is already there, the workshop is already there, but the equipment is not there. So that means you need to procure or purchase the equipment. That may be a different task. Or sometime the equipment is already there, the laboratory is already there, but the people are not trained to perform practicals. So then you have to induct new staff members or faculty members so that the practicals or the jobs are performed properly. So setting up new labs, procuring equipment, inducting human resources. So these are the smaller tasks. Okay. So key areas have been defined, related tasks have been identified, and then you make certain persons responsible for these key areas and key tasks. Maybe for setting up new lab and workshop, we make someone responsible for setting up this new lab. For procurement or purchasing the equipment, we make someone responsible. For recruitment of faculty or staff, we make someone responsible. So we will be filling the last column. Maybe principal or HOD is responsible for setting up new lab or workshop. HOD is responsible for procuring the equipment. Or director or principal is responsible for recruitment of human resources. So in this way, you make certain persons responsible for carrying out these tasks and ensure that all these tasks are carried out by the concerned person in due course of time. So in this way, you prepare this operation plan and you ensure that all these tasks, all these key areas are taken care of. And then, my friend, you will be in a better position to implement the curriculum. Maybe I can show you one or two more examples for these key areas. Let us talk about training of faculty. This may be the key area. Maybe if you have revised the curriculum, if there are certain subjects that you have added in your curriculum, so you need training of faculty to deal with those subjects so that they can teach these new subjects effectively. Your faculty members have to be trained. So this is a key area, training of faculty. This is a new area. You have to take care of this area. Now again, this is a big area. and you have to break it into smaller tasks. How we can break this key area into smaller tasks? Training of faculty. How we can break it into smaller tasks? That depends on the type of training that you will be providing to the faculty. Now, some faculty members, they may be interested in updating the knowledge and skills. They don't have, they are not updated as far as subject area knowledge is concerned. So updation of their knowledge and skills is required. So they need to be trained. This is one type of training. Then there may be teachers who say, sir, we are trained in our subject area. We don't need updation in subject area contents, but they need training in use of audiovisual aid. They need training in pedagogy part. That means how to teach. So that is different type of training. And certain very experienced teachers, they may be requiring training in management of resources, how to manage the resources, how to procure the equipment, how to handle the financial part, materials, equipment, energy management, human resource management. So all that training is required. So these are the tasks that are concerned with training of faculty, training for updation of knowledge and skill, training in using audiovisual aids and pedagogy, and training in resource management. Once you identify these tasks, make some persons responsible for carrying out these tasks. The principal or head of department is responsible for organizing training program for updation of knowledge and skills of the faculty member. Again, principal or head of department is responsible for training the faculty members in use of audiovisual aids, or director or some management person, they are responsible for organizing training program in resource management. So my friends, like this, you are preparing this operation plan. Another key area is, and I think this is very important area, please think of this area also, development of instructional resources. Sometimes we have seen that good instructional material related to particular subject area is not available. And there may be two aspects of this one. One thing is that, okay, sometimes you visit the bookshops, you go to the market, and you see that, okay, books are available, but then they are not of the desired level. You want a particular book of a desired level, but that book may not be of the desired level. That may be one of the problem. Another problem is that good book of desired level is available, but then they are very, very costly. Maybe some books written by some foreign authors, they are of desired level, but they may be very costly and they may not be within the reach of our students. So we have to ensure at the institute level that we are in a position to provide good instructional resources, good instructional material to the students. So that is the responsibility of the institute. That is the responsibility of the department. So if you think that there are certain subject areas where good instructional material in the form of textbooks or laboratory manuals is not available, then my friends, I think you are the right persons who have been teaching for years together. You are in the best position to develop good instructional material. What are the related tasks as far as this particular area is concerned? If you have to develop good instructional material, what are the smaller tasks? The first task will be, okay, maybe the first smaller task is developing the learning material. You identify, is it the textbook you are trying to develop? Is it a workbook? Or is it a laboratory manual? Or it is some audiovisual aid in the form of some PowerPoint presentation or some model you are trying to develop? So please specify which learning material you are trying to develop. And who will be responsible for this one? Maybe some certain subject teachers, a group of subject teachers, they are made responsible for developing the learning material. Once you develop the learning material, the next step is assessing the learning material. So you develop the learning material, and then someone else is assessing your learning material. Maybe a head of department is given the responsibility. A group of teachers, they have developed the learning material in the form of textbook, and head of department is assessing that learning material and giving certain feedback to the teachers. Maybe certain things can be added, certain things can be deleted. So some feedback from the head of department on the learning material. And so many times, my friends, you need not actually develop the material. The material is already available in the market, in the bookshops. The good books are already available. But then you need to procure the books. You need to procure the book, and that again is if you have to go in a proper way, that takes some time. So procurement of the books, procurement of the books in the library, so that also takes time. So make someone responsible, or principal or head of department is responsible for procurement of instructional resources. So my friends, this is the way you are actually preparing your operation plan. You are identifying the key area. Once you identify the key area, then you identify what are the tasks related to these key areas. And then you make certain persons, maybe someone from faculty or from staff, people from within your institute, they are made responsible for these key areas and these key tasks. And once you are able to take care of these key areas and these key tasks, then you are in a better position to implement your curriculum effectively. You are in a better position to deliver instruction and develop the desired knowledge and skill amongst your students. So thank you very much. This is what I wanted to cover as far as curriculum implementation is concerned. And my friends, if there are any questions as far as this topic of curriculum implementation is concerned, you are most welcome.